Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. Your host today is founder and president of Top Mexico Real Estate, Thomas Lloyd. Thomas Lloyd is a graduate of Purdue University Kraner School of Management. He has been working professionally in Mexico since 1995, and in 2011, he was the first person ever to obtain a national regulated real estate degree in Mexico. Thomas founded Top Mexico Real Estate to ensure Americans and Canadians have the best experience when purchasing and investing in real estate in Mexico. Welcome to this webinar, and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Today, we're going to be talking about the future of beachfront living, innovative Hometainer solutions. So this is a unique, very exciting type of webinar that we're going to be having this afternoon. I'm Thomas Lloyd. I'm the founder and CEO of Top Mexico Real Estate. And again, thank you so much for clicking on and being with us. Today, we're taking a step further by introducing to you a groundbreaking trend in coastal living down here in Mexico, as well as all parts of the world. But right now, obviously, we're focusing on Mexico. So this is unique. It's new. These are Hometainers. You're starting to see a lot of this type of homes in all parts of the Yucatan Peninsula, as well as over in the Pacific, I'm sure, and over in Baja California. But we're focused in the Yucatan Peninsula. We're also excited to have our esteemed partners from Domad with us today. Domad is a leading manufacturer of Hometainers based down in Merida, Yucatan. They're also expanding over into Quintana Roo, and it looks like that's where we're going to be talking about today, that they're also going into Campeche. So all of this will be very, very interesting. So many Americans and Canadians, they're dreaming of investing, buying, moving down to beachfront living in Mexico. And beyond being aspirational, beachfront living real estate is a smart move when you stop to think about it. And many of the reasons of this is in my what I do every day of the year is real estate. I help people to invest into real estate down in Mexico. And one of the smartest places to invest into is beachfront property. And one of the main reasons for that is the demand is just constantly there. And it all makes sense because when we're up north in that freezing cold, Michigan, in the Midwest, in New York, in the wintertime, what we dream about is to be able to go down onto a beachfront, the beautiful tropical view onto the beaches of Mexico. That's what we're dreaming about. And also the people who are coming down to vacation, that's what they're dreaming about too. So the highest probability, the people coming to Mexico, they're looking to be on a vacation on the beach. So if you're investing to rent, this is ideal place to have property to be able to rent. So with that quick little introduction, I want to introduce Jasher and Paula. They're the partners, they're the founders of this amazing new type of properties that are being introduced down into the Yucatan Peninsula. So Jasher, I'm just going to jump in with some questions with you first. How do you see the demand for beachfront properties in Yucatan evolving in the next 5 years? How do you see that type of investment? And also, Jasher, in sustainable living solutions?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much, Thomas. Thanks we're glad to be here. But what do I see? Here's the thing is that you have beautiful beaches all along the coast, right? But they've always been developed beach and then undeveloped. And the development, as far as I've seen, it's always gradually gone expanding. And so, in fact, what a lot of people do is they buy beach land that's not developed as an investment, waiting for the location or the town, wherever they're closest to expand and gradually reach the lot that they bought, right? And I'm talking about development like electricity in the area, water is a big thing, and on the beach, all the services that our modern day homes need so that we can be comfortable. So with sustainable living and the new trend and hometainers, what I actually see, Thomas, is people are no longer going to need the services, the development to come to them. I think that with hometainers, with the new advancements in technology, solar is every day more efficient. Now can just buy a water maker. We don't have to wait for them to pipe water all the way to us, right? So what's really happening, and I've seen it, is that nature is becoming the new luxury. I see people wanting to buy land not closer to the city, not downtown. Now they want to have their little safe haven away from town. And if it's off the grid, maybe even better, So I think that right now you still have that big gap in price when it comes to beach land, whether it has services or it doesn't have services. But I think in 5 years, that gap is probably going to be a lot smaller or maybe even disappear, because people are going to actually look to be a little bit further out. They're going to look for more exclusiveness, more privacy. That's what I foresee for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. Where people look for right now has always been Florida. I mean, I'm talking to Americans, Canadians, Florida, California, Texas, and the prices, when you look down to Mexico, the difference is substantial. And then what you brought up is very, very key point there too, is there's a lot of properties. Quintana Roo is catching, it's a lot closer to Florida prices. It's getting right next to it. But over in Yucatan, Campeche, other rural parts off of the beaten path, there's some amazing beachfront properties, still very accessible. But the trick is exactly what you said. If you buy it, you don't have electricity out there on the most parts. You don't have the water. But so that's why your home containers are so interesting to this. Paula, in terms of the lifestyle, the benefits, how do the hometainers enhance a beachfront living experience compared to your traditional separate homes?
Yeah, Tom, when we think about, the hometainers or the domads, what we were trying to do is actually provide a certain lifestyle. You go to a hotel in the middle of the jungle or beachfront, and then you get this beautiful view and this experience, but then you get to go home. So we were trying to turn this dream and this experience into an actual lifestyle, something that you can live in the everyday. So what we're trying to do with the hometainers is basically provide a product where you can live wherever you want to be where you want to be, that you can actually have that place where you can be secluded, where you can have privacy, where you can actually retreat from all the commotion and all the hustle and the noise, from the city, that you can retire to this place, that you can go home and have a beautiful view. So containers provide you with that idea of being able to go and live wherever you want to be and have the lifestyle that you want. We consider that actually living in nature is a luxury nowadays. It's the new luxury that we're all looking for.
Exactly. Paula, now you guys set up the hometainers there in Yucatan. That's where you started. Is there a reason? Is there more of a demand on the Yucatan Peninsula? Why did you guys choose to start in Yucatan and not to someplace like Quintana Roo, where there's a lot more tourists than you find over in Yucatan?
Actually, Yucatan is called one of the safest cities to live. It's been a city that's been growing a lot. We have a lot of expats family actually buying land outside from the city and bringing their families, Also, I think that Yucatan has its uniqueness. Like there's places like Cancun and Tulum, which are known worldwide, and they're very crowded. But Yucatan still has all of its beauty. You can live in the main city, and then the beach is 20 minutes away. It's a place where it's growing, where you can actually bring your family, but you can still have like the beauty of a town, and then all the conveniences of living in a city without being, too crowded. So that's one of the reasons why we chose to start here in the Yucatan.
And the type of the Hometainers, what you guys are constructing, they're not just for homes, but they're also for commercial use. Is that correct? And you have some clients that have actually built for a restaurant.
That's right. We have both type of clients. The clients that are looking to buy a house and live here full time, whether it's in Quintana Roo, Campeche, or Yucatan. And then we're having also as well clients that are buying their house and they live part-time here in Mexico, and then the rest of the year they rent it, as an investment. Then we have like the commercial part, where we have different clients that are investing and building hotels or residential projects. In fact, we have an ongoing project right now of 9 villas. They're going to be short rentals. And we've also built restaurants that go also along with this concept of providing a different experience, where you can just retire and basically be immersed in nature.
Awesome. Now, you guys are setting up a new retail center in Tulum in Quintana Roo. So very interesting. What I understand, you started in Yucatan because of the demand in Yucatan, but now you're starting to get more and more clients over in Quintana Roo as well. What type of projects are you seeing? I'm imagining in the jungle. Quickly, a little bit later, you can tell us a little bit more details. How long does it take to put in the container? All the details. But can you explain what kind of unique ideas are being popped up in Tulum?
Yeah, that's correct. We're excited. I love the jungle here, the Tulum jungle. We have really high trees, a lot of nature, and I'm really excited because of the nature reserve, the Siancan Nature Reserve. It limits a lot the opportunities that you can have in there, but there is a viable means of building and developing there, and we want to be one of those exceptions where you can do something with our containers in the Siancan. That's what we're shooting for. Also, outside the Siancan, there's a beautiful jungle, and we've already set up a few houses in the jungle, and they're spectacular. So we've actually set up a few houses already in this area, right on the beach, in the jungle as well. And I think that Tulum just is really rich. This whole coastline is really rich with that biodiversity. You have the ocean on one side, the high jungle on the other. And we're really excited to see what we're able to do here.
I would also like to add that our Hometainers were designed to, like the architectural and the structure was designed to be immersed in nature, whether it's like Dasha was saying, the jungle or the beach. In fact, most of our models in the main room have a glass, and that's because we want that the customer, when it's inside the nomad or the Hometainer, can still feel like, immersed and involved with nature, but enjoying all the benefits of air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I imagine, I think I talked a little bit about this, but there's some projects down there where the normal trailer, the typical trailer you see from the United States, and you park along the beach, and then they put a palapa on top of the trailer to help with the shade. And that's just amazing. I mean, it looks fantastic. And I can imagine you guys doing the same thing with the your container homes. Now, as we talk about that, Paula, what exactly is the difference between the traditional, normally they make them out of cement blocks, everything. The traditional home versus the container. What's the difference?
Well, here in the whole peninsula, we deal a lot with extreme weather, like extreme everything, extreme heat, extreme humidity, extreme corrosion, hurricanes. So basically, our Hometainers are built to withstand all the conditions of all the hard conditions of the Yucatan Peninsula, So basically, what's the main difference? For humidity, comparing to a traditional home, what we use is green board that helps us with the humidity. For heat, all of our houses are basically insulated. We put 2-inch on the roof and 1-inch on the walls of polyurethane. That's gonna make your house fresher. In fact, it's fresher than in a traditional, home, because concrete tends to get very hot. Also, the foundations that we use are pilots that allow the humidity, or more like, let's say, it doesn't allow the humidity to get inside the house, because your house is up as well. And when it comes to corrosion, we basically use boat paint that helps us a lot with low maintenance.
What kind of paint?
We use a special paint to just make it easier to understand. It's basically boat paint. So that means that you're not going to have to paint your house in 15 years. The maintenance is very low. I've lived in a traditional house, in a concrete house, and I have to paint that, especially here in Yucatan, every year or every 2 years if I want my house looking good without all the green stuff on the walls.
Yeah.
So basically, those are one of the difference. I don't know if Jasher wants to add more, because I'm sure I'm missing out a lot more.
A quick question, Paula. Those paint, you have a variety of colors. I know you said boat paint, which is a very, very tough paint to withstand. But can you choose a different color?
Yeah, you can definitely choose different colors. For our pre-design models, we have around 5 different colors, and then if you decide to do a personalized project, then we have a wide variety that we can use.
Nice. Joshua, were you going to add anything you wanted that we forget?
Sure. Yeah, I would just like to add one of the biggest things that make the Hometainer different. We're talking about modular homes, right? Prefabricated and then set up on site. So what really happens is the whole process of construction and everything that has to do with it, you're basically jumping it. You're avoiding say like the normal traditional construction, all the mess, all the time. We prefab everything in 90 days, and then in 6 days we just show up and piece everything together and set them up like Lego. Besides that, it's removable. So if you decide that you want to relocate, you take it down and set it up somewhere else. So I think comparing to a traditional building, not just the process and the cost and the materials, I don't know of a traditional house that you can take down and move and reset up in another location if you wanted to,
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, that could be very practical if you're an ongoing investor just buying beachfront, you just move your Hometainer right down the road into the next lot. Interesting.
Just adding a little bit to what we were talking about and what Joshua was saying, it's the foundation. We don't pour concrete, and that's one of the biggest benefits. Sorry, I was trying to.
Well, Paula, down in Campeche, I've seen this quite a bit. Not so much over in Quintana Roo, but in Campeche, I've seen a lot of the homes, the traditional homes in Campeche, they build them up on columns. And then they actually park the car underneath, and then their cement block homes are up on the second. Now these are in sections maybe where maybe the hurricanes, I would imagine that's why they use those columns. But I would imagine the container homes, you can put it up on a column as well for those people who are quite concerned about, inflush of water coming in. So, have you guys done any projects in that?
Yes, we have. The thing is, in that area in Campeche, there's a long strip of beach there that was having problems with the sand being washed out. So they actually made a law that they had anything on the beach had to be up on columns, up on stilts. But we
Yes.
actually have two projects that are being built at this moment that are the exact same way. The house is elevated 2.7 meters, almost 3 meters high, and the idea is just they park their car underneath the house. So
Yeah.
yes, it's coming in. It helps in many ways, humidity, hurricane, and then it's a lot more environmental friendly. Uh, I mean, if you're on the beach, crabs or anything, they can continue their path. You're not blocking their normal way, you know.
Yeah. Also, the fact that that we do the foundation that way means that you don't need anything. That you don't need to do anything to your land. You don't need to basically work on your land or have it ready. Basically, all that we need is to check the access because we set up the house with a crane. So the only thing that we need to check is how the access is, and basically that's it. We have a lot of clients or customers like asking us, what is it that I need to do to get my land ready, And we're like, basically nothing. That's the good thing about our structures and our foundations that are very adaptable to the terrain.
It's very interesting. That'd be very interesting that as that project proceeds, Jazz maybe share some photos with our clients.
For sure.
That's super interesting for me too, a project like such. And what else in regard to the environmental impact? Anything else that helps? I know we mentioned a couple there. Exactly what Jasher was talking, that putting up the structure allows the wildlife to continue progressing.
So like for us, Tom, one of the big things, the shipping containers, they're built out of cordon steel, which is pretty much normal steel, but while they're making it, they put a few different chemicals in it that makes it very resistant to rust. And that's why they are able to use them on the ships and across oceans and leave them stacked in the yard, and they last forever, right?
Yes.
The problem with that is that they are no longer able to melt them and recycle that steel. So once a container, it's forever a container. The the shipping companies give them about 30 years of life, and then they have to stop using them. So the world right now has thousands and thousands, if not millions, of containers that can't be recycled, and they're just sitting in a yard, contaminated. So for us, it's one of the big things that we like about this is that we are actually recycling these containers that in otherwise would be just sitting somewhere, occupying space, not letting nature grow and contaminating.
Yes.
The other thing that there's a few different things that we've done. For an example, all of our decks are actually made out of 60% recycled wood. They're a compound that's made 60% recycled wood. It's 30% recycled plastic and then 10% sediment. So every deck that we build is helping the environment. We like that a lot about the product. We are constantly trying to look for ways to use what's already been used. Everything we can do recyclable, but also that gives us what we're ultimately looking after in our product, which is low maintenance, high durability. So those are a few of the main things.
Oh, very, very interesting. How does Domad ensure the durability and the quality of the home containers in the coastal environment? Now, I know that you guys just answered a lot of those questions,
Yeah.
but the salinity and the high humidity, can
Okay.
you explain a little bit?
Yeah. So we actually have very high humidity. It's very salty, especially if you're on the ocean. Everything is corroding big time. Extreme heat and then extreme weather, hurricanes. You know, we just went through one a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So the Domads, the Hometainers are built 100% with all of this in mind. Starting from the foundation, where everywhere we're on sand or close to the beach, we use helipiles, which are like large screws. And each helipile are able to withstand a pull test of 5 tons. And depending on the model, we have an average of 30 of those put to the container, so nothing is going to be able to pick it up, right? The fact that they are elevated above the floor level also helps with water coming in, waves washing, where a normal concrete foundation is going to make a barrier and then take the hit of all the wave, right? In an extreme weather circumstance. As far as humidity, being up off the ground helps a lot so that you don't have humidity coming through the floor. The other
Okay.
thing is that um, we went ahead and just decided to use pure green board on the interior. The green board is sheetrock that is normally used for bathrooms and showers where you have like the mist from the heat of the water that's going to be just a lot of humidity. So what we did is we used that same green board that's water resistant through the whole house. So that's really made it very resistant for humidity. As far as heat goes, we have a polyurethane spray foam. Like Bao said earlier, 1 inch on the walls, 2 inches on the roof. Just so that we get a comparison, the R value of an 8 inch concrete wall, which is what traditional house is going to have, an 8 inch wall, it has an R rating of 0.67. Um, and the 1 inch foam that we put has an R rating of 3.5, and then putting the 2 inches on the roof gives you 7, R rating of 7 on the roof. So we're like 10 times more insulated than your normal concrete building, right?
Yes.
Obviously, with it being metal, there's a lot of metal, so we need that insulation. It's one of the first things that we've really invested in.
Awesome.
The other thing is the salinity. So as I mentioned earlier, the containers themselves are cordon steel, so we don't have a problem with anything that's the container. Everything else that we use is all galvanized metal. There's nothing on there that's not galvanized. So really, they are designed to withstand all the extremities of the weather down here.
Very, very. So inside, I imagine you use a normal mini split air conditioning unit inside of the containers, right?
Yes, that's correct. We go with the mini split. It's they're modular, so we already have everything pre-designed where you put the mini split in, and so the pieces come. We put it all together and then install the ACs. It makes it a lot faster, a lot easier. It's one of the reasons why we can install a house in 6 days.
Yeah, amazing. And solar panels, do your clients normally put in solar panels?
Yes, most of them do, honestly. And actually, nowadays the solar systems are so efficient. In the city, we have a high percentage, like 70% of people in the city use solar. So imagine the guys that are outside and actually depending on solar. A lot of them in the city put solar, and the guys that are putting places like on the beach and they have a exclusive lot away from the city. It's almost it's almost a must, or not a must, but yeah, they're pre-designed for the solar panels. We already have a location for your inverter. We already have the place, enough space on the roof clear so that you can put according to the model and how much electricity you're going to be using. There's already a location for your solar panel. Um, kind of that's one of the things that we wanted from the very beginning is just to make it real easy, where it's like, okay, you have the option to put solar panels, everything is already there for you, you know?
That's amazing. And last question on this subject, our internet. Everybody now, it's a must. You need to have your internet, even
Yeah.
if you're giving away way out in the mountains or way out on the beach. Do you see that with your other clients? Are they?
Absolutely, yes. A lot of the people that have bought nomads from us, they worked online, and so they really enjoy that. I am 25, I'm 30 minutes from the city, so if I want to go out and have dinner, I can go out and have dinner, but at the same time, I don't have to go if I don't want to. So they have Starlink, which works great, most of them, and they work there from home. So it's the new it's the new thing, really. I mean, you go for a run, it's no longer a running track. You're running on a jungle trail, or along the beach.
Oh
Uh,
wow,
I think that's really what we see when we talk about enhancing lifestyle.
yeah, yeah, amazing. Um, and okay, how do the initial construction costs of a home container compare to those of a traditional cement block?
I was gonna say that the cost depends on what you're comparing it with. Sorry, if you're comparing it with building a traditional home on the beach, then the hometainers are a better option and they are more affordable. In fact, we don't have like we talked before about the foundation. We don't have to pour concrete, which causes a low impact, or in fact, it causes a lower impact on the land, and that helps us also with the cost. Because we're not pouring a whole foundation of concrete, which makes it more affordable. Also, what we like about how we set up the whole system towards having a house that's very easy and fast is that basically buying a pre-designed model, you already know how much your house is costing, but, against a traditional home, in my experience, because obviously I've lived in a traditional home before, you start with a budget and then it keeps increasing. You always have add-ons and add-ons and add-ons. So with a Hometainer, it's like the price and the installation, and you already know how much you're paying for.
Yeah, that's a very good point there. And have you guys seen any long-term maintenance advantages between the traditional cement block versus Hometainer?
Long-term maintenance. Like I said, we've done everything to minimize maintenance, and we're a little less, I would say about 3 times less maintenance than a traditional house. So like for an example, the main thing that you would do maintenance on a house is the exterior paint in this weather, right? We have houses that haven't been painted so far in 3 years. They look just great. So we do have a maintenance plan on our nomads that, for an example, we call all of our clients after 6 months just to check up and see if there's anything. So far, our clients have told us, nope, call me in another 6 months. So
they're good. Now, how about okay, how do you see the tourism industry? And I'm imagining the way the trends are continuing to change and everything. Airbnb, for example, I'm seeing that people want more unique type of vacations or getaways. Are you seeing the same thing, or what's your opinion on the tourism industry and Hometainer?
okay, so what I've seen is that more and more every day people are looking for experiences. in hotel industry, in the hospitality industry, they they need the fact that the simple fact that you're there to be already the adventure. So that's why you see a lot of boutique hotels, a lot of hotels going to super remote locations, because sometimes even just getting there is an adventure, you know.
Yeah.
Every time there's all different levels, and there's some that are pretty extreme and some that aren't really extreme. But it seems like it's all going that way, and that's what people are looking for. It used to be, I'm sure that you would go to the nicest hotel, the nicest, I don't know, luxurious granite, and you'd walk in, and how the room made you feel is what it was. But now I think that life has become so simple that now as human beings, we're looking for adventure. And in Domads, our Hometainers, we call them all-terrain houses. A lot of people have bought them and put them in remote locations and are currently renting them on Airbnb. I think we mentioned earlier a restaurant that was set up. And I'm talking about a restaurant 2.5 hours from the closest civilization, in Xcalat. And no electric power, but they're running solar. And they're right on the beach, so they have great meals being served. We actually built the restaurant, like the main restaurant is 3 levels up, so you're above the canopy of all the trees, and you have the sunrise on the ocean and the sunset behind you. You know, beautiful place. It was awesome building it, but it was just the perfect example of people looking for adventure. So I think that what we're talking about right here fits right in with the trend, right in with where the market is going. So
Yes.
I think that the people that are doing Airbnbs are doing great. With the Domads, it's something completely different. So it's working out really well.
Very interesting. Okay, we're coming down. They're showing me that we're coming down out of time. So right now, I'm going to ask some of the questions that some of the people have been sending to us, and let's just dive into it. And between the three of us, mainly you guys, because there'll be questions having to do with the Hometainers. But the first question is, are the container homes on a well and septic system? If so, how many homes are hooked up to a well?
Okay, great question. So pretty much what we recommend is a biodigester, and it's real easy. You can buy it and set it up, and it's basically just real simple. In most places, they don't allow like a septic tank, but a biodigester is allowed, and it's really easy. As far as the well goes, we're living about 10 feet from sea level. So what normally we'll do is, I think it will cost you about $250 to make a well, and you have all the water that you need. They go down about 13 meters to get past the salt water, and then they get down there to sweetwater wells. And everybody so far, they make their well and they put their biodigester individually. So it's pretty much a well per house, and it's a real easy fix on this trip. Where the water situation can get a little bit complicated is when you're right on the coastline, because
Okay.
the Sweetwater sometimes becomes a hit and miss. I've seen people dig a few wells and then hit the Sweetwater.
Okay.
But in cases where they don't get Sweetwater, we have water makers that are working now. So a few people just put in a water maker. I think you can get one for about $7,000, and you have all the fresh water you want.
Okay. I've seen also, I'm thinking here top of my head, but I think it was in Maya. They actually, some of the homes way off into the north or south of the little pueblito, they have water pipes, water tanks, and they'll go through and they'll bring the water. They'll fill up their well, and don't call up the water pipe. So that I'm seeing that, and I'm sure that could be some solutions up and down or the different places our buyers are investing.
Yeah, they do that. I've seen that as well.
Okay, the next question is, does Merida provide electricity to the homes? Okay, I think what the question is, does Merida provide electricity to the homes? Might be talking about all of Yucatan, but my response to that question is, well, definitely like in the capital, Merida, Progreso, the larger cities, electricity is available. Now, when you start going off further into the outback, into the jungle, and that's what we've been talking about this afternoon with the webinar, is some of the places can be super remote where the electric doesn't quite arrive there. But the solutions that other people have been doing is the solar panels. And that, do you guys have anything additional to answer this person?
Basically, the donuts are prepared to be, if you want to be connected to the normal electricity and actually set your home in the city, then you can. And if not, they are prepared to be completely off the grid, and they have a special place for solar panels.
Exactly. Okay, another question. Are the homes on separate lots, or is it a common for a landowner to place several Hometainers on one parcel of land? And I think Jared, you guys just explained one of your clients actually put in 9 containers on their parcel of land. So
yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what I've seen on the pictures too, that 9 was actually for like a bed and breakfast, not bed and breakfast, but it was a small hotel. But what I've seen, some clients might put 1 or 2 containers and put them on top just to have several rooms in their house. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah, that's right. Basically, what we try to do with our models is that you actually feel comfortable. Now that you actually talk about it, I would like to discuss a little bit about the inside spaces, because there's like this prejudice that a container or a Hometainer has to know just the container. But what we actually do is we basically cut them and provide different spaces. We put architecture in and we add extensions towards you're feeling very comfortable with it. And we can do like different arrangements in the house. When you're talking about putting a container on top of another one, it's just not the high cube container and then another one on top of that. It's basically designed especially to create different spaces, like cut and arrange and set up with extensions and decks. Towards it's just not the, how can I explain it? Just
you're creating different rooms and spaces that connect uniquely on there.
basically.
So this is super interesting. And then you get a client, he comes, he says, what I need are 3 bedrooms. I need 2 baths. I'd like to have a separated living room. So your team actually can design according to the dreams of the client. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I'll jump in here. So we've really focused in everything really easy and really fast. So we do have 6 pre-designed models where it's really easy, depending on your needs. If you need 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, if you want just 1 story, 2 stories, we have 6 different models. And then you can choose the color of the floor, the color of the walls, the color of the granite in the kitchen, the color of the carpentry. You personalize it, and then it's already we have everything already ready. And so we'll produce that model in 90 days and then install on your lot in 6 days. And the idea is that you're buying a home, but it's more like buying a product. You avoid all the, like Paul says, the budget and then the add-ons, and I calculate this and I calculate that. You buy it, that's your price. It includes the installation, that's it, right? But if we do have a client that isn't able to find his need, or our models aren't able to solve the needs that he has, we do have an option where we can design it specifically according to his needs. And we've done models like that. Like for an example, the restaurant was a specific because it had to uh, solve the needs of a restaurant, you know. So
Yeah,
yep.
very nice, very nice. Just about like a Tesla, you go in, you get to choose the color of the interior. You want to choose the different, the color, yes, fantastic, very very interesting.
Yeah, with the project that we're building right now, the client wanted to do a specific concept. So he's putting a lot of natural walls between houses, so it gives it a very nice look. And then he decided to set up a pool in front. So there's just different things that you can do with Hometainers. We can place them in one lot, like answering the specific question, or we can put several in different lots. What we will do is basically look at the land, how much beachfront you have, or like the size of the lot, and then basically help you out with a proposal how we can arrange them if you feel like putting a lot of them in the same lot.
Fantastic. Nice. And the next question is, what are the property taxes each year? And are there any benefits or savings versus having a traditional home? Are there any kind of benefits in Yucatan or Cancun?
So far, no. The container houses are a pretty new concept here. So they are categorizing them as a palapa. So they're not considering them an actual construction, which makes it really easy. For an example, in protected areas or locations where you would otherwise need a special permit, it's a really good option. They're considered an installation or a class 1 construction, which would be like a palapa or something that it's really minimal. As far as tax wise, I would need to ask one of our clients as far as I know, but I think that it's got to be either the same or less than any other construction.
Well, that's a very good, interesting point, because in my experience, we dealt many times where the famous, it's called cost and the cost. That's the limit that the city gives you to put a footprint and the amount of meters you have, especially like you mentioned, Jasper, in protected areas. They put a very, rightfully so, they put a very restricted amount that you can construct on an hectare. So if your Hometainers are classified as a palapa, well, that is super interesting. You can have a very small lot, and usually you're restricted because of that cost and cost. Now with this container, that could be a solution to a lot of people's obstacles. So,
yeah, and I'm telling you, like for an example, our showroom that we are putting here in Toulouse, the construction's completely done. We're just like furnishings, but the license, because we're right on the side of the highway and it's a commercial, so we have to do everything, but they categorized it as a construcción permeable, which would be the same as a palapa. So it was really easy.
yeah, well, that's a huge benefit. Next question we have. I take it there will be electric kitchens and not of gas. How common are the solar panels to generate electricity being used in Mexico for Hometainers?
So we already include an electric stove in our donuts. Actually, kitchens come completely ready with an electric stove. We stopped putting gas ones. We just want to avoid any detail with the propane. But personally, in the models that I have, I change the electric stove for gas when I'm going off grid.
Okay. So there's the option. You can do either gas or electric according to the client's wants. And
Yes.
okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, okay. That's all the time we have right now. I want to thank everybody for clicking in to watch us this afternoon. And I want to give a huge thanks to Jasher and Paula. Thanks, guys, for sharing this Hometainers and this fantastic new unique option for Americans, Canadians buying properties in Mexico.
Thanks so much for the invitation, Tom, and thanks everybody for watching and for allowing us to share with you this new way of lifestyle.
Yes, thank you so much, Thomas. It's been our pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for letting us, and have a great time.
And again, thank you. And if you have more questions, just write to us, give us a call, send us a WhatsApp, and we'll get you all the answers that you have questions upon. And obviously, Jasher and Paula are going to be right there with us to answer all of those questions. I'm Thomas Lloyd. This is Top Mexico Real Estate. Hasta luego.